For decades, skateboard decks have seen little advancement in functionality and construction, which has hindered the progression of skateboarding. Here at Oust, we decided to change this by developing a skateboard deck that would not only set new high standards for deck manufacturing, but monumentally push the sport into greater heights of speeds and maneuverability. In order to construct a deck that pushes current boundaries, we went outside conventional manufacturing and standard materials. We chose materials that would make the board feel alive and perform in ways that are unimaginable. For this reason, we call our boards Dissent. Here are some examples of the exotic wood used for the top and bottom veneers. Also, the U.S. strains used for the core in the process of manufacturing a Dissent longboard. We make all kinds of different design blank blocks used to cut our veneers for the Dissent decks. All the woods we use are quarter sawn because it is known to have better properties as far as straightness, strength, and flexibility, which also work better in the carbon fiber to wood adhesion process. First, a blank is chosen for the deck we're about to manufacture, and then the process begins. We sand all of our blocks before being used to ensure tight tolerances are met before being cut into veneers. This is to ensure that the weight of the top and the bottom of the deck when finished will weigh the same. After being cut to the right size, they are then put back through the sander with the proper grit paper to bring them to the exact thickness and surface known as tooth needed for the lamination. Each veneer is measured with calipers to ensure proper tolerances. The veneers might go through the sander several times before they reach their desired size. Once the veneers are finished, a protective cover is applied to keep them clean while a fair amount of resin is excreted during the pressing process. When all the wood and carbon plies are ready, the high tensile strength aerospace resin is weighed and balanced for the assembly for the longboard laminate. We use special resin that has a very high tensile strength and flexural strength that other resins we've tested cannot reach. All the laminates are laid out in their proper position and the resin is now applied so that the carbon fiber plies can be saturated to their exact carbon resin content of 60/40. This is done to ensure the maximum strength, flexibility, and recovery time for each layer to achieve maximum performance from the finished longboard. There are different grades of carbon fiber: commercial, industrial, and aerospace grade. Commercial grade, or 33 MSI fiber, is usually woven and has the least tensile strength. Industrial grade, or 35 MSI, is also mostly found in woven cloth. Aerospace grade, 41 to 70 MSI, can be found in woven but mostly unidirectional fiber. The benefit is that you can use less material to achieve a stiffer and lighter structure. With woven material, the strength obtained from warp is minimal. Unidirectional material strength is the same in all directions. This is why Oust has chosen aerospace grade unidirectional material. With this grade, we can also change our carbon fiber ply angles to achieve more structural integrity for specific performance needs or desired result. In the next step, the layup is wrapped in a protective film to eliminate resin leakage while being cured on the press in the phasing process. Next, the assembly goes into the hydraulic press where it undergoes specific pressure, temperature, and time until the curing process is complete. Although some resin is lost while in the press, the balance between carbon fiber and resin is still maintained. Once the curing is complete, the laminated uncut deck is removed from the protective film covering and goes into the sanding room to have all the excess resin sanded off to help center the deck on the CNC router fixture. After sanding, the blank deck is placed into the CNC fixture and is flattened so that the truck mounting holes are perpendicular to the wood surface. Once secure, truck mounting holes are drilled to specific dimensions or wheelbase length. Next, the deck is placed onto another fixture to cut out the desired shape. When a deck is cut on the CNC router, rather than by hand, the shape is completely symmetrical and ensures the trucks are mounted completely centered. Once the deck shape has been cut out, the now square rails or edges are sanded smooth in preparation for the radius that is put on the rails with a hand router. This process can only be done by hand. The next step before sanding the deck is to countersink the truck holes so that the bolt head set flush with the deck surface. The finish sanding starts with 100 grit paper and finishes out with 320 grit paper. This ensures a proper surface or tooth for the sealer and extremely tough polyurethane surface coat to adhere properly. Before the finish coat, the blank goes into the laser for its serial number, make, model, and manufacturing information, which is lasered into the bottom of the deck at the tail end. After the laser, the Dissent logo is applied, so the surface finish can be sprayed over it to keep it from ever coming off. The blank is now ready for its protective finish. Several thin coats are applied and each is dried and color sanded to keep the protective coating at minimum thickness. It also makes the surface coating more resistant to abuse. The finish on Dissent decks is what you'd expect to see on a really expensive exotic car. What you now have is a longboard that is balanced from the corner sawn wood and symmetrically centered shape with aerospace carbon fiber for maximum performance in power, flexibility, and response time, along with being laminated with specially blended resin to allow for infinite flexing without delamination. And lastly, a durable surface coating that preserves the artistry and craftsmanship of the new high standard in skateboard manufacturing. You will not find any other skateboard currently being manufactured on the market like this today. Dissent Longboards truly separates themselves from the rest of the skateboard industry. This allows the skater to progress in his skills and find new levels in skateboarding. Thank you for watching the Dissent video. Get your Dissent board today and enjoy the best ride tomorrow.